My name is Jordan Rudess, and I'm the president of Wizdom Music, and I'm the keyboardist in the band Dream Theater. It's my great pleasure to present to you today my newest app that's called Jordantron. Jordantron is an app that is especially close to my heart because it's the first time that I've officially released the Jordan sounds that I use in all my live concert situations. Spent a lot of time going through my personal library, organizing my sounds, looking back through the years to see exactly kind of what made the magic happen, and taking all those sounds and putting them inside an iPad. And I have to be totally honest with you. To this day, I've been working with Jordantron for a while, and it still kind of amazes me to, put my hands on an iPad and get the huge sounds that usually come from my larger, keyboard and computer equipment. So we're very excited about offering this to the music population. Basically means that you can have whatever keyboard with you, plug it into your iPad, and access the whole, Jordan kind of epic world of sound. So let's take a look at Jordantron. First, I'd like you to know that there's an A tone, a B tone, a C tone, and a D tone. This alone is really, really cool because basically what's happening is the A tone is, for instance, a complete layout of samples and sounds that I would usually play on my big hardware keyboard. So in this case, the onboard keyboard here has access to A, B, and C. And the way you get to those different sounds is on this simple and easy to use knob. Basically, we can go from A, and if I move the knob from left to right, I can kind of morph or crossfade between A and B. There we go, now we're on B. And then if I keep moving the knob, at C, you've got all of the C tone, which is the epic finale sound in this particular voice bank. So that's the cool thing. You have three big layouts that you can crossfade between. And usually, if you think about it, let's say with Dream Theater, I'm playing like an A tone, a single A tone, and then I change it to a B tone. In this case, we're offering three tones. You can blend them together. So I'm very excited about that. The D tone comes to play in different ways. You can set the D tone to receive a particular MIDI channel and play it from an external keyboard, but also just jumping ahead a little bit, if you're in pad mode, when you play our 12 pads that's assigned to every voice bank, which I'm going to get back to, you can have the D tone assigned to that. So right now, we're only hearing the D tone, and I can play on top of that as well with the A, B, and C mix that I choose. So let's say I'll mix between A and B. I have, right, or I can go up an octave, and I can hit these chords. So that's really cool. And externally, you can also have an external keyboard playing the ABC and hitting the pads. And you'll see some of the performance videos that I've done doing exactly that. So jumping back to the main page, you can see we have a double keyboard manual, which is very cool because I can do things like, playing lower notes here. And then in the top voice, almost like an organ, I can be just covering different ranges. Starting with the volume is self-explanatory, very simple. The pitch is also pretty self-explanatory, although there's a little secret that I'll let you in on. If you're playing along, you can use the pitch knob, let go. It'll return to center when you let go. And that's a setting, actually. You can go to settings and decide if you don't want it to do that. Usually if we're doing some kind of pitch wheel technique, like you want it to go back to the center position. There's also a tone knob, which whatever sound you're on, it's kind of like a filter. It can make it brighter or more mellow. So let's just see, it's just brightening up, getting more mellow. Very, very convenient, useful, really good sounding tone knob. And then, as I mentioned, your A, B, and C control. Looking down, you have your voice D level, which is basically referring again to your volume of your pad. So if I'm playing, that we can adjust the sound level of these pads. Very good. So that's what voice D-level does. Reverb tone is like a filter for your reverb. If you want your reverb to be brighter or a little bit duller, your reverb send is just a bus to the reverb, how deep your send level to reverb is. And then reverb space is just the kind of the amount of time. So if we turn it all the way up and we hit a chord, we can get let go, and it rings for a good long time. Over on the right, we have actually our A, B, and C tones listed. And what you can do is you could change any of them by using the arrows, either left or right of it. So if I want to get away from string plus, I can go to a different sound. This is trippy synth. This is actually a sound that I use in Breaking All Illusions with Dream Theater. A lot of these sounds come from kind of like my Dream Theater world, if you will. So as I'm cycling through, I can get to the different sounds. Enigma Glory. And again, you can change A, B, and C, and D. And then when you use this little knob here, which can be assigned to a modulation wheel, you can crossfade between the sounds. And of course, Epic Finale. We can hear that for a second. We can turn it down an octave with the octave switches. Go down another octave. And you can create your own mix. Now this brings me basically to the voice bank. A voice bank basically saves everything that's going on. So when you get a great combination of A, B, and C, and D, and you love it, and you've got your pads assigned, you assign the whole thing to a voice bank. And a voice bank can receive MIDI information as well. So if you're performing and you want to go to, let's say, voice bank number 3, which has Aaron's orchestra, a tribute to Aaron Bashbu, then you can just go directly there without having to scroll through and just play the sound. So it's a very quick way to get to your settings, which I love. And each voice bank actually has pads that I personally put together and recorded different, chords to. In this case, it's got some heavier kind of sounds. And I just made some decisions that I thought would be fun and musical that you could play along with. So that's a whole lot of fun. Scrolling through voice banks is probably the first thing that you want to do when you check out the app and just get a feel for the size of it, because it's all about kind of like this epic world of sounds that I haven't heard on any other iPad or any other kind of like multi-touch device. So it should be a lot of fun for you to really check that out. The little wizard here, besides being a nice little decoration, it also has some secret functionality. You can go and touch the wizard and it will light up. And that's about it. No, I'm kidding. It actually pertains to the pitch knob, which, when I'm playing leads, I like to have, let's see if I can find my lead sound. Here it is. I like to do this thing where I'm actually bending down a whole octave and up a whole step. So I can do like, and bend down. And here's my wizard on, and this is going to make it go down an octave. Here we go. So I get my little whole step thing, and I get my octave here. And then on the knob here, I get harmonics and kind of like a really grungy. So I can get all that kind of nastiness, especially effective if you've got a mod wheel assigned to the ABC. You can really just basically play your leads like I do on my Kronos. Let's take a look at pad mode. Most of the voice banks have preset chords that I put together, but there are some that are all clear. You can tell they're clear because it'll be grayed out and they won't be like bright blue. To create your own chords using the D sounds, press record and press a number like number 1. And then you're going to be stacking notes. So while you're in the record mode, every note that you hit basically builds up this chord. So what I usually do is I start in the lower range so I can play this note, right? And then maybe I'll go up an octave and I'll add a higher C, and then I'll just build a chord. And then I can use my octave switches to go up even higher. And I've got a huge chord. I take it out of record and you see it lights up blue, and voila. So the next chord you would hit record and you can go and play, and I'm just stacking really fast. And great, that's my new chord. So now I've got, and you can do that for all 12. It's a lot of fun. It's a great, way to have some nice things going on between chords and also your live keyboard parts. One of the things that I love is this kind of mellotron type feature, and that is in the half speed button. So if you're playing, let's say, a sound like this, you can say that sounds great, but let's take the whole thing and bring it down. So you hit half speed and it takes the whole thing and really slows it down. Very kind of proggy. It comes from the mellotron type feature. Of course, this app was built with Phil Atkin, who's famous for his mellotron iOS apps like the M3000 and Sopranotron. So I love this half speed. And anytime you're anywhere, you can go here and hit that button. And it even makes kind of a cool sound when you touch it. That's a little bit about Jordantron. Again, I'm very excited that you're checking it out. Welcome to my world, and welcome to the first time that I've ever really offered my collection of sounds that I use with Dream Theater and beyond in really any format like this. And so this is only available on the iPad. And my friends, I'll see you on the road.